What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Titch TV and welcome back to Titch and Geezer's results roundup. This is round 8, which means this will be episode 7 for us too. Geezer, as always, I'll ask the question: how you doing?
All good.
Yeah.
All good, boy. Had a beautiful day today. 28 degrees. 28 tomorrow. 31 Friday. So we're having a really beautiful time of year now. So the usual, I'll give you a weather report. It's, at the moment, it's really good, even though we could really desperately need a batch of rain at the moment, but it's not looking like it's coming. But yeah.
I forgot to ask you on the last episode, and it's not sports that I follow, but Brisbane, you tell us again. Brisbane was in 2 major finals. What sport was it, and then how did they do? Yeah, because
man, the 2 major was the rugby league final, and which was Brisbane Broncos against the Panthers, and mate, they lost it by 4 points. They were so close. They had it won and lost it right at the end. And the other one was the AFL, the Aussie Rules final, and they lost it by 2 points. So which in AFL, which was about, I don't know, score 90 to 88, something like that, which is 1 kick. Yeah, you know, when you've got the 3 sections of the goal, it was just 1 kick away from winning it, and they didn't get there. So they both fell down, but both really close. It could have gone either way, both finals. So, yeah, no cigars, but really close.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Were both finals in Brisbane at Suncorp?
No. That was a semi-final was at Suncorp, but both finals the Australian rules always happens at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, the MCG. So that's always there, 100,000 plus they had there for the final. Yeah. And the rugby league final was in Sydney.
Oh.
So, yeah. And that was against the Panthers. So, yeah, it was really unlucky for both teams, honestly. Both could have won it and both didn't. But, yeah, there you go.
Did you watch both those games?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I didn't see all of the Australian rules or something was happening that afternoon. I saw most of it, then saw the highlights of it. But, yeah, they were very unlucky, man. It was one of them days. Because sometimes you can have the Australian rules final. A team could win by 30, 40 points, But this went right down to the wire, right down to the last kick. If they could have got one more goal, kicked one more goal, it would have won it. And if they'd just converted a goal instead of a point, just once in that game,
that makes a big.
They would have won it. It's fine margins. It was, and it's not often you get a final that close in Australian rules, but this was right down to the wire. It was good, and so was the rugby league final. I mean, I thought Brisbane had won it, and then the Panthers came back in the last 5-6 minutes and scored 2 tries, and just stole it from them. Yeah, they were gutted. But,
have you got any die-hard friends that are supporters of either one of those? That would really hurt them.
Yeah, both.
Yeah,
I've got friends out there. I mean, I was a big follower up until the last year or so of rugby league here. Yeah. The Brisbane Broncos. I did really follow it a lot. But then I changed, it's all on terrestrial television here, and I just decided not to watch terrestrial television anymore here because it's so many adverts through it. I got fed up with it. So I sort of lost touch with rugby league a bit.
Yeah.
And but until these finals, I hadn't really studied it much for the last 2 years. But I do enjoy watching it. Rugby league is a good game here. It's very professional here. When I used to watch the rugby league back in the UK, it seemed a little bit more of a pub mentality there. Here it was very professional. A very high standard, really high, tough game. And I think England's games come up, because of that.
Yeah.
It's risen. It is more professional. But it's a big game here. But yeah, no luck. It was unlucky though. The Panthers as well, weren't it? I mean, they've won it. This is their 3rd year in a row winning it. So they're up against the sort of Man United of the time.
Yeah.
Of trying to win it. and got very, very close. Yeah.
Well, as always next year.
But yeah, they're both good forms of football if you get to know the game and watch it and understand the rules a bit more. Once you understand the rules a bit more, it helps.
Yeah.
You won't understand all the rules, especially in Australian football. But, God, it's a tough game. I remember I was actually staying down on a hotel on the Gold Coast, and the Gold Coast have got a team as well, and Geelong, which is a big Melbourne team, came up. They were playing that weekend, and I got out of my hotel room, walked in the lift, opened the doors open, and 4 or 5 of these Geelong players are in it, right?
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, man, some of them were 6'8", 6'9", and I stood up and looked at them. And all of them, though, they're so respectful. It's all good morning, all of them. Good morning, how are you? How are you? How you going, mate? Oh, boys, you must be Geelong boys. So, yeah, really nice, well-spoken, representing the club, if you like,
Yeah.
I did get that in the Australian rules. The guys are very, very professional, very mature, and do represent their club at all times by the looks of things,
Yeah, to everybody as well, not just official people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really nice guys, but my God, the size of them. You don't realise watching the telly how big these boys are. They're huge. Anyway.
Yeah, it's always good to, I feel anyway, wave away from just football or just West Ham and just so it's it's not, I don't follow those sports, but I had an interest once you'd let us know that Brisbane, which is obviously where you're now residing, that they were only
Brisbane at a whole are gutted, both finals, which was a great achievement for both teams, and only narrowly miss out on both of them, but next to nothing. But that's finals for you, isn't it?
Exactly. But yeah, we will obviously get back to this show, and we'll jump straight into it. The first game was the early kickoff on Saturday, and that was Luton Town 0, 10-man Tottenham Hotspur 1, and that sent and kept Tottenham Hotspur at the top of the league.
Yeah.
Your boy,
who would have thought it, eh? Big Ange. Top of the league, after 8 games?
8 games.
Unreal, eh?
Yeah.
What a turnaround. Yeah. It wasn't a great game to watch at all, but and again, like I said, I don't think Big Ange has got them anywhere near where he wants them.
Yeah.
Because much of they've done brilliantly and got the points on the ball. They struggled against Sheffield United. 2 really, really late goals to win that game. They struggled here against Luton. But then again, they go and beat Man United. Got lucky against Liverpool with the infamous VAR decision. But they're getting there, and they're getting over the line. And what I see, the difference in one thing in Tottenham, they're not never giving up now. They're not being Spursy at the moment. They're going to the end of a game. They're battling to try and win it, whatever. I don't think they're anywhere near the team they need to be in, probably the top 4. But I think that he'd look at it right. We can only get better and just do what we do. So I think the signings. What's impressed me though, like the Maddison, it's a no-brainer, but the freedom he seems to have in the Tottenham team has really unleashed him, mate. I that's the best I didn't see that at Leicester. He was good at Leicester, but I'm seeing a different Maddison here. I'm seeing a really creative player that's just amongst everything, creating, everything. He's just everywhere. And I think he's been unleashed, and it suits him, and it's suiting Tottenham. He's been, an absolute revelation for him. And that Van der Ven, they seem to have the centre half.
I was about to speak about him. Yeah.
He's looking like a really good buy. I'm not sure how many Ange brought in. I know it was Maddison and that Van der Ven.
Yeah.
I don't know if he brought any others in, Titch.
I'm just going to look at their squad whilst you talk and just see if anyone's...
But that's 2, 2 signings that are working out brilliantly for him. I don't know if he brought anyone else in.
Trying to think from what I can see here. Oh, Solomon Manor, who was obviously on loan at Fulham, I don't know whether that was agreed or whether Andrew said yeah. So he also came in. So I'm not.
Yeah, he's injured.
And Brennan Johnson. Sorry, remember he got him from Forest as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Brennan Johnson.
I think he was injured maybe.
I think he might be a work in progress. Brennan Johnson. You know, what I mean, I think that's a long-term project for him. He looks like he's a talent.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. It's like I always say, you live and die by your recruitment. If you go by Madison and Van der Ven, he's doing well. So, and they're making a difference. And they won it. Yeah, Madison was superb. He was just superb in that game. And like I said, it weren't a great performance by them. You know, Son was a bit quiet. He didn't do a lot in the game. Charleston again missed a couple of. You know, they could have been 3-0 up though, Tottenham in the first 15 minutes. And Richarlison missed a couple, and they could have done better. And I think that this is what that out and out, you know, clinical forward is what they're missing at the moment. And then whether Richarlison becomes that, I don't know. But yet again, this was another one where he had chances and didn't take them.
Right, a few things that stand up from this game. So, Yves Bissouma got sent off in, first half stoppage time. You previously had said, you like what you see in regards to Luton's battling quality. So does it make it even better result that, they played the whole of the second half away to a battling Luton team and still once again managed to find a victory?
Yeah. Well, it is, isn't it? It's a testament to them at the moment. I mean, Spurs last year probably doesn't go on and win that game. And there's a big difference. They seem to believe that they can win it, and they are. Bissouma quite rightly got sent off for the worst dive in history. He should have got another card for bad acting.
Yeah.
So it was disgraceful and it was idiotic the way he dived there. It really was. And I'm glad that he did get sent off for it. And he's a big part of their team at the moment because he's stepped up. He's been playing really well, and there's no need for that crap. Yeah. And the more these players get pinged for that, the better.
Yeah.
And maybe other players will learn as well that it can cost you. Lucky enough for him that Tottenham went on to win the game, so it didn't cost them the points. But it made things bloody hard in the second half because they were on the back foot a lot.
Right. And then I was going to touch on Mickey van der Ven. Now, once again, we spoke maybe last week or the week before in regards to how Ange operates in the transfer market. Is he shopping in a different window, the unknown quantity, and therefore, he's got free run to just sign that player? I'd never heard of Van der Ven. I heard yesterday, I think on Sky Sports, because they was now speaking about this guy.
Right.
And they said apparently he was registered as the fastest player in the Bundesliga, right? Now, when I heard that, I thought, hold on a minute. As far as I'm aware, Alphonso Davies from Bayern Munich, no one can't touch. This guy's a rocket. And if they
actually mentioned that through the game, Titch. They said he was the third. On the game, the commentator said he was the third fastest player in the Bundesliga.
See, maybe they did say that, but they said the fastest player. But yeah, he can't be faster than Alphonso Davies. No,
you wouldn't. That's what I'm saying. Way. But even for a centre half, be the third, even if he's the third fastest player in the Bundesliga, really?
That's crazy.
I find it hard to comprehend that.
Yeah.
But he's obviously got reputation for his speed, or whatever it is.
Yeah. And they was talking on Sky saying, thus far he looks like one of the best centre backs in the Premier League. Yeah, and
he must have been well regarded, Titch, because they did. I think it cost them 45 million
or 40. I think I'm only going from what I heard yesterday, and they're saying it's obviously worth more than that already.
Call it 40. Yeah. I think they said 45, but it's just still that's a pretty penny to be paying. He must have some kind of reputation to be paying that.
Yeah, he might have been. You know what? He might have been 45 euros, and I don't know if that equates to.
Maybe that.
Yeah. Sure. And before we move on, once again, I would say only looking at this, which is credit to Big Ange, because with 10 men, he brings on Højbjerg, takes off Richarlison to obviously compensate. And obviously, ultimately, he got the victory, and it was Madison who set up Van der Ven. So 2 of his signings obviously got that. But yeah, I think that substitute there clearly was needed and was the right one. And obviously, it all paid off. So yeah, Spurs and Big Ange going to the international break.
Top of the league, son.
I say joint top, but yeah.
I'm going to keep telling everyone, I told you so.
Exactly.
Yeah. Told you, this boy's got something. I don't believe he's necessarily going to rip up every tree in the world and challenge Man City or Arsenal now, whoever it may be. But what he will do for top supporters is make them believe again. And they'll turn up every week expecting to enjoy a game of football.
Yep.
And if nothing else, he'll give them that. And I do believe if they stick with him, that he'll get them a trophy. Whatever that may be, I don't know, but I think he will.
Right. We move on. I'm going to say my piece. You say yours. Right. I'm going to say Man United, very lucky, 2. Brentford 1. And if ever there was an inspired substitution, could we pattern it and call it a McTominay moment? Scott McTominay, 2-1 down. Not flavour of the month with Ten Hag. Brings him on 87th minute. This is a defensive midfielder, by the way. He scores the equaliser on 90 plus 3. And then 90 plus 7, another man out of flavour, Harry Maguire, sets him up for him to now win the game 2-1. So have you ever seen a substitution as impactful as that?
No, it's nice when you get an impactful sub. As we did, we had one at the weekend. But to come on, and this is what I've been saying about McTominay. I think McTominay's a different beast when he plays for Scotland than he does for Man United. Man United, he looks very bang average, and he sits deeper. And I'm not sure he is the best defensive midfielder, but he plays further forward with Scotland, and he scores goals for them.
Yeah,
and he scored, a little hatful of goals in the last probably 8 or so internationals. So what you saw there was them throwing, the kitchen sink at it, throwing him up further up top, and he ends up with 2 goals himself. And the first goal was really well taken too. It was a good goal. He done a job on Brentford. They'd be gutted, you know what I mean? Especially, and if you go back, this Anana thing, mate. Hey, what?
Yeah.
It's another mistake from him to me. A shot that should easily be saved.
Easy.
And he lets it go through his hands into the goal. I'll bounce over his hand and go in. I mean, it's terrible goalkeeping. I just don't know. They must be wondering why they bought him. And they pissed De Gea off. Because De Gea won the Golden Glove last year. You know that?
Yeah.
People were saying how bad he was, yet he won the Golden Glove. And I think he might have been Player of the Year for Man United. I'm not sure about the Man United one, though. But he won the Golden Glove.
Yeah.
And you go, well, all right, now you need a more ball-playing. It's no good having a ball-playing goalkeeper if he can't save the shots that's coming out.
Exactly.
I know Onana's not that bad, right? I know he's a good keeper. But he's having an absolute mare at the moment, isn't he? He just seems to be making a mistake nearly every game. And maybe it's just a confidence thing. I don't know. But he's not doing well.
Yeah, I genuinely believe the pressure's getting to him. I think, if he can get through this, it will make him a better goalkeeper. But can he get through this? Because all the while, he's letting in goals and that. The manager at some point, he's either going to get sacked. A new goalie will come in. A new manager could potentially come and say, he's not going to be my goalie. They'd rather a bread and butter, someone that can save the ball.
Costs a lot of money and all.
Yeah.
And look, lucky enough for him, McTominay came on and saved the day. I mean, making a mistake's one thing when you don't lose. Making a mistake that costs you to lose shines the spotlight on you.
Yeah.
It might not be so much on him because they ended up winning the game. But he's got to cut it out. He's got to start producing.
Yeah, that was...
Because once it starts costing you more games, that's when, the heat will be on.
What was I going to say? So obviously, that just sort of for me papers over the cracks. Wasn't convincing by Man United as a team. And yeah, it probably. And when I say this, I mean it's in however you want to put this. It's definitely bought Ten Hag a bit more time because I do feel he's on borrowed time, and that there would have for me would have been another nail in that coffin already. I believe because losing at home to Brentford after losing at home to Palace, I think the week before. So
and losing at home to Galatasaray?
It's losing. Yeah, that as well. So it's
Oh yeah, like his jacket's hanging on a shaky now. That's for sure. But he want to be thanking McTominay for that one. But they didn't deserve the win. That's what I was going to say. They didn't really deserve it. But Man, historically, Man United have done that in the past. I don't think they were that good last year, but yet they ended up in top 4.
Exactly.
And a trophy, and they weren't that good.
Well, we'll move on. And the next game was a lot of incidents. That was Fulham 3, Sheffield United 1. Chris Basham, 12 minutes delay, came off. I saw the image after the game, and his ankle was basically separated, or his foot from his leg, whatever. Yeah, it's
funny enough. I only watched the highlights of that game under 20, and they actually didn't show it. They just showed him. They just showed him being stretched off. So I didn't know. Didn't even know what happened.
The next day, somebody must have posted. When you're online, so I saw it and I was like, "Oh,
is it bad?"
Yeah, it's separated. Like,
I'm glad I didn't see it, Mike. Because
that's not something I would put in this video. But I can just tell you, I saw that and I was like, wow. So I generally hope he has a speedy recovery, and it won't be too speedy, but I hope he can get back to full fitness, full health, and get back playing again. Genuinely, 2 own goals in the game. So a lot going on in there, but 3-1 to Fulham. What was your thoughts on the game itself?
Well, I see the goals. I thought, for the first time, Fulham finished well, and Sheffield United looking exactly what they are. I don't think Fulham are that good. I really don't. And they haven't been good in front of goal this year until they stuck 3 in this game, which probably says more about Sheffield United than it does about Fulham.
Yeah.
But I forget who scored Fulham's goals.
One was an own goal. William scored the last goal. 1 sec.
Yeah, that's right.
And let me get it back up. And the first goal was Bobby decored over Reed. He scored the first goal for them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. They seem to, Willian, mate, he's still shining, and they rely on him a lot. They rely on him a lot, for a guy. What is he? 33 now? Whatever.
35, I think.
35.
I think. Let me just double check that.
They rely on him to make things happen, and he does.
Yeah, he's 35.
He does make things happen amazingly. And you see Diop there pull up, and that gave him the Sheffield goal because he just couldn't do anything. They took the ball off him. He had to just pass it to him, fall on the floor. I don't know what went with him, but something went. And Sheffield United scored their goal. That was it. But Sheffield United, like I say, they're heading towards relegation in quick fashion. They just don't look like they're ever going to be good enough to survive.
I don't know, in regards to the history of the Premier League, but I don't know, has anybody got 8 games in and only had 1 point? There probably is.
Probably is.
And but it's 1 point from 8 games, which is
1 point's one thing, but it's looking at a team and thinking, all right, but they could have had 6 or 7. I don't really see that at Sheffield United. They could have had points against Tottenham and lost 2 goals in the last, in injury time, both of them. But I just don't see a team there that's going to survive, at all. I can't see any major changes there either. But.
Right. Well, you just said you can't see a team there that's going to survive. That moves us on swiftly or nicely to another team that I think you're going to have the same opinion. Everton 3, Bournemouth 0. So your opinion of Sheffield United, is it the same of Bournemouth? Or, yeah.
Yeah, they're looking relegation material. Let's put it that way. I don't, I say there's going to be, when you look at Luton and Sheffield United, you probably give them odds on of being relegated. And then you look at Bournemouth and Burnley, you think they could be in the same category. But one of them is going to survive.
Yeah.
So whether it's Burnley turn it round or Bournemouth at this stage, I'm not sure. Bournemouth, because they've been there a while, maybe they will. But they're not looking at the moment. They're looking seriously in trouble. And to lose to Everton 3-0, and Everton, another team, they will survive, Everton, because of these 4 or 5 teams that are worse than them.
Yeah.
That's why they'll survive, because they're not that great. But they had a comfortable 3-0 win, Everton. And I remember there was a goal there by Jack Harrison who lobbed the keeper brilliantly. It came out to me, banged one straight over the keeper's head, hit the underside of the bar and went in. Really good goal by him. Again, Bournemouth, they're looking bang average, mate. Bang average. And you say if you concede it, Everton couldn't score a goal to the last couple of weeks. They did look better though. I'd say that with Everton, they did look better, and but I thought Bournemouth made it easy for them.
Yeah,
and it was an easy 3 points.
Right. Next game, rejuvenated Chelsea. So they ended up beating Burnley 4-1, but they did have to come from behind, obviously at Turf Moor. Raheem Sterling once again was in scintillating form. Cole Palmer's got his first Chelsea goal, albeit from a penalty spot. Nicholas Jackson came on and got a goal. So Chelsea are on the up. But Burnley once again have shipped a lot of goals. What after watching that game, what did you think on both teams?
One, I thought Sterling was outstanding. Outstanding. Was he picked for the England squad,
No.
He was not?
Nah.
No, he's a guy I'd pick, even though Chelsea have been crap. He's not been.
Exactly.
He's been brilliant. I mean, really good. Nearly every game I've seen it.
Yeah.
And I noticed Chelsea put him on the left in this game.
Yeah.
And he tore him apart. He absolutely tore him apart. I think he was at least 3 of the goals. It was something to do with it.
Yeah, he was heavily involved.
I think if you're not all goals,
Yeah.
He actually ripped him. He rinsed the right back, and he was on fire, man. And you go, wow, that kind of form, he should be in the squad, I'd imagine. But what do you say? But he was good. And Chelsea are getting a bit better. They're getting better slowly but surely, and I think they will. But they can't be as bad as they've been. They just can't be. But again, Burnley just look like another championship side, as they've done from the beginning of the season. And I say it just shows you it doesn't matter how brilliant you've been in the championship. It really doesn't. It tells you the level between the top of the championship and the bottom of the Premier League.
Yeah.
It shows you that there's a massive difference to that. Never mind the top of the Premier League, the top 10. There's a massive difference, and Burnley are finding that out. And they're getting caught every week, and God knows how many goals they've conceded at this stage.
Burnley have let in 20.
20 goals.
Second only to Sheffield United, who've let in 22.
Well, there you go. There's a story, isn't it? There, Sheffield United are absolute pants, and they're only letting 2 goals more than Burnley.
Yeah.
So the writing's on the wall for them unless they change something. It doesn't matter how good Vincent Kompany is as a coach. The personnel he's got there, by the looks of things, or the way he's playing, one or the other, or both, are not good enough. And he's got to either change the way he's playing to try and maximise the points he can get on the board, or he needs more personnel.
Mm.
That's it.
And yeah, they've only scored one more goal than Sheffield United as well. So it's not, there's no real, when you look at it on paper, there's no difference really, apart from, they've got a victory, so they've got 3 points more. But yeah, we can move on. One sec. So, oh God, next one. Jeez. Crystal Palace 0, Nottingham Forest 0.
Oh, fuck. Do you know I predicted this before I even started watching it? Right? I looked at it, I got up that morning and went, right, no. I said to myself, mate, this has got 0-0 written all over it, right? There were 2 games I picked for a draw. As soon as I looked at it, I went, oh, this is a draw. And another game I'll talk to you about later, well, I thought this game's going to be shit.
Yeah.
Right? I knew it was going to be, and it was.
Yeah.
But this was, to me, a 0-0 draw all over it, right? But it shouldn't have been, because they missed chances at both ends, you know what I mean? They should have scored.
Yeah.
But it did end up being a 0-0 ball fest. And I saw what I've seen of Palace this year, and I kept saying they seem to have a lot of attacking players, but no one seems to do anything with it in front of goal. And that's how it panned out. And probably Forest look quite good on the ball. They look a better team, and I don't think they'll have any problem being around the bottom 6.
Yeah.
But goals is what matters, and I just had a feeling neither of these teams were going to score one, and they didn't, and that was it. There's hardly a highlight in the game, but a couple of chances, and then maybe they should have done better. That's about it.
Right, so Chris Wood started in place of the, I believe, injured Awoniyi. Did they miss Awoniyi?
I think so. Yeah, the boy's been good for him this year.
Yeah,
he's one of them big centre forwards that really causes defenders problems. So I think they did miss him.
Sorry.
Go on.
I was going to say another thing. Only I've just learned this. Your perception of Palace. Look, all these attacking players. I didn't realize this, but looking at this, it's very un-Palace. Palace have scored 7, let in 7. You understand? In 8 games, it just doesn't look right. They're either a team that there's always goals generally in their games, whether they're conceding, whether they're scoring, but 7 goals scored for it just looks.
They look very pedestrian. I don't know if it's just a loss of Sahar that makes all the difference. Maybe it is, but they look quite boring. And
yeah.
But that Edouard is, I'm not sure he's any good or not. And I know they got Eze and Elise, but they just don't seem to have a real threat in front of goal.
But saying that, Eze and Elise are both out injured as well. So 2 players that you mentioned, they obviously didn't take part in that game, so they are missing their sort of bright spots. But not much to talk about there. 2 teams that I feel will just be sitting in no man's land in the Premier League. They're not going to get to Europe. They're not going to be. I don't think. No,
they'll be floating about between 10 and 15 games, and that's the kind of season I think they'll be having. And I mean, Forest might be happy with that they won't be battling relegation this year.
Yeah.
I think Palace should be a bit more adventurous, but
especially as teams like Palace, where you're not in Europe, sometimes you can try and take advantage of that by giving it everything week in, week out. But it's not looking like they're going to be challenging for the top 7, top 8. Right, we've got another draw, 1-1, and it was a Midlands derby. Wolves off the back of a fantastic result against Man City, and Villa off the back, I believe, of a fantastic 6-1 victory against Brighton. 1-1, and right in the last knockings of the game, Lamina got sent off for Wolves. So Hwang scored again, and then instantly Pau Torres, who is Unai Emery signing, he equalised. So 1-1. Did you watch the game? Was it entertaining?
Yeah, highlights of that game. Yeah, well, it seemed like a good sort of Midland derby. And again, Neto was, the star for what I see of it anyway, for Wolves.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ, he keeps coming down that right wing. and he's the one that set up the goal for Wang. You know, very similar to last week where he cut in and he ended up getting a own goal from it. No, we got him a goal last week. And the same here, he done the right back, got in front of him, got behind him, put the ball across and Wang put it in. And Neto's looking, too good for Wolves, let's put it that way. I can see, I thought he was older, that player, but he's young, isn't he, that Neto? He's very young.
He's fairly young, let me just check. I would say about 24, I reckon. I'm going to check now.
I think, 23, I think. I maybe remember him saying.
Yeah, he's 23. He's 23.
Yeah. I thought he was older, but I think, I think there'll be someone in for him, maybe even January. The boys, he's playing well for them in an average team. He's Dawson's self, sits in there. And to hold Villa, again, Wolves keep doing this, don't they? They play big parts of these games, and they've done it all season where, you worry for them because they weren't getting the points on the board.
Yeah.
Now they seem to be able to get them. And I think against Villa, coming off, 6-0 win last week?
6-1, yeah.
Yeah, 6-1. It was it's a good point for them, Wolves, against Villa. Because, Villa are top to be competing with the top 7 this season. So I think it's a good point for Wolves. And I think they've got enough in them to, just stay above that bottom 4, bottom 5.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it'll be any much more than that, but I think that.
Right.
But they're not ripping up many trees.
Nah. Listen, this is the game I've been waiting to. Injustice. 2 European giants met. That was the West Ham United 2, Newcastle 2. Now, West Ham United have just set a new English record for remaining unbeaten, 17 games in Europe, which is a massive achievement. I don't care about what competition or nothing. It's Europe. And the Newcastle have come off the back of a 4-1 victory against PSG. Now, I feel in this game, West Ham were robbed on many occasions. I'm going to give you some, and you might add some more to me. Now, I don't like... Right, so first of all, Guimaraes should have got sent off, right? We controlled the first half. And so therefore we're in control, and we could have done that, and they were down to 10 men. It's a blatant. I heard Jamie O'Hara, who is a Spurs player. Apparently, he said it's disgusting. He said it's a disgusting decision. Anyway, that's a red card, right? What I don't like is I understand Emerson's frustrations because he's probably trying to get the crowd up. That's a card ref, he's probably trying. Right, all right, it's wrong. But then when Almiron does it, it's no yellow card, right? So, well, what's going on here? The free kick that led to their first goal, Paqueta on Tonali, was never a free kick. And I said at the time, that's not a free kick. And even there, I'm thinking, we'll deal with it. But I thought, that's bullshit. That's not a free kick, right?
No.
And then they scored from it. I don't know where to start. But West Ham were robbed. And I would say credit to the team because, Newcastle then scored 2 goals in quick succession. They were the better team in the second half. And we still managed to get a draw, which I think was the least we deserved. But I feel West Ham was robbed. I mean that. So, what's your thoughts overall? And on those things I've said as well.
You've echoed exactly what I was going to say anyway. So, I couldn't believe it. I've never. I remember this Peter Banks before at West Ham having a fucking nightmare of a game for us against us. It was just. I remember him being an absolute wanker. Right, and he's done it again, and he bottled it. The Guimaraes, and I've heard Newcastle fans say this that they were lucky. He should have got sent off.
Yeah,
they believe he got sent off. This isn't a one-eyed West Ham thing, and I never like to comment out the game, and especially a West Ham game, and blame the referee. And I don't. Mistakes happen all the time, but he continuously fucks up. He bottled it with Guimaraes because he'd only just booked him. Exactly. And he didn't want to book him again and send him off, but it was a booking. Yeah. He'd done exactly the same tackle, exactly the same foul, and he just let it ride. Should have gone. That changes the whole nature of that game.
It does.
We had them anyway at that in that half, the first half. We were a better team, and then them to go to 10 men changes his tactics. It changes his substitutions. It changes everything.
Yeah,
and he didn't do it. That Almiron. Doing that. Why not a yellow card? Because did he get booked later, Titch?
Let me just double check that. Yes, he did. He got booked.
Yes.
67 minutes.
So there's two that should have been sent off because that should have been his second yellow.
Exactly.
Because I was watching it with Kieran James, right, and he's going mental.
It's a
at
joke.
Almiron. Right? He should be off. He should be off. Gumares should be off. What is going on here? Yeah. And then when you talk about that foul that led to their goal, there was never a foul. They were competing with the ball. The boy fell over, and believe you me, Paqueta's on. He's not in on goal. He's got, but they're right in front of their penalty area. Then with him with the ball, and he's got players either side of him. That could have been an attempted goal for us. Yet they get the free kick. It was madness.
Terrible.
It was the worst refereeing performance I've ever seen. It didn't need VAR to make it a bollocks. He done it all on his own,
Yeah.
So
and you're right. So that was definitely a potential attack. The foul on Ward-Prowse was cynical, and it was denying we would have been on the attack, and I think we might have outnumbered them. So and we're in this ascendancy anyway, right? So that in itself is it's a cynical foul. He knew what he was doing. And then to rub salt into the wounds, it was a fantastic pass from Guimarães. Obviously, Trippier has then assisted, but I'm saying the pass, he shouldn't even be on the pitch. So he's played a key role in them coming back into the game.
Exactly. It all went wrong because of that referee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we done our usual, come out in the second half after sleep, and Newcastle up their game, and they were good. They were better than us. But like I said, there could have been two men lighter.
Yeah.
But they weren't to be because of the referee. But they did play better than that, and we were floundering a bit. And I was getting annoyed with Moyes because you could see after about the 55th minute, Antonio was done. You know what I mean? He was done. And I was just saying, please get him off. Just change it, mate. You can do whatever. You know what I mean? He's done. He had nothing left there. You can see, I know he'd recovering some kind of injury he'd had during the week, but he was done. And he left it. And I think it weren't to the 74th minute or something before he brought Kudos on and Ben Rama.
Yeah,
and
75, 76 minutes, yeah.
And Kudos was, or Kudus, whatever we want to pronounce it. He was superb. And I'm not just saying about the goal he scored. What I loved about him was every time he received the ball, he held it, he shielded it, and he used it sensibly.
Yeah.
Or he'd either pass it back sideways or whatever. He'd hold the ball, keep it. And then all of a sudden, when Newcastle, was in our half all the time, we were in their half because he could hold the ball and use it and then move. And he made a difference, a big difference. Ben Rama, as usual, didn't. Yeah. He done a few good touches here and there, but he weren't really affecting the game. But Kudos was. And when Soufal went down the right, again, I love it when people, when they got their own favourites, they don't give credit to the. I've heard people say on other channels, right, saying, a simple pass from Kufal. Was it?
Exactly.
No, it wasn't. Instead of just whipping the ball into the box that anyone can get their head on, maybe, right? Remember, Souček is off by now. And no, he like he did with Bowen last week, he fucking pulled it back to the edge of the area, right to Kudos's feet. And then 2 touches, bang, cracking strike. Hammered
into the ground as well,
Yeah. One of them, bang into the ground, kept it down, into the ground, and flew like a rocket into the corner. Great goal.
Against possibly England's future number one. From that distance, through a crowd, exceptional. And I'm thinking, for me, to come on in a game that we were, we was hard done by, we wasn't playing well. And really, it looked like the game was just going to pan out into maybe a 3-1 Newcastle victory, if anything. For him to come on, have the composure, didn't force it. Like you said, he was picking his passes, picking when to do a skill and all of that. And then to come up with that, for me, I'm very, very impressed. What I'm seeing in this boy, like really impressed, because sometimes it's very hard to come on when you think, the mentality could be, now you want to throw me on, we're losing. And he seems to come on with a purpose, and seems to have
absolutely.
a confidence within him. Do you understand? Like it exuberates for me. Like, yeah, this guy's confident, and it can't be too long before he's starting. And going back to Tommy Sue, do we have to have Kudos or Souček? Souček once again gets the open eye. He's found himself, right up in the box. Fantastic lead up to the goal. Paqueta, Emerson done.
You know what?
Yeah, like
that's one of my favourite goals this season. It really is that first goal we scored.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you one little thing. Whether it's this little Emerson Paqueta or Paqueta, I like. But when that ball came to Antonio for him to lay it back, as soon as he started to hit the ball to lay it back, Emerson was gone.
Gone.
Yeah, Emerson was running past Paqueta before he'd even got the ball.
Yeah.
And then Paqueta, first ball, straight over. He'd already started the run, Emerson. He didn't even have to think. And that's what I'm loving about Emerson at the moment.
Yeah.
It preempts him what's going to happen. Yeah. And as soon as that ball got nudged back to Paqueta, he was gone. And he's probably 10 yards past Paqueta before he gets the ball. And he just launches it over the top. And a great touch by Emerson, put it around the keeper. And, yeah, again, nobody gives a lot of credit for Souček, but he's in the right place at the right time. He's following all that up. As soon as Emerson's running, he's running.
Yeah.
And he gets the ball over to him. He's just got to tap it. Brilliant. And fair play to Emerson, too, to not, take it past the keeper and try and score from a stupid angle. Just knock it back, let the boy bang it in. That's what you do as a good player. And I thought, wow, it really was one of my favourite goals this season.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed
me
it.
too.
Great goal.
I mean, I am, before I say this, I'm so happy. Are you happy to see Souček, back to being Souček? And
yeah,
what I didn't like is that in his first season, everybody was, loving him. And then when things are going not so well for him, and the team's doing bad, he was, I believe, the scapegoat. I'll give you one example, right? I'll give you one example. Them idiots, on E20 Zone TV, James Fever, I've just given some promotion for our 20 views. Anyway, when we played Liverpool, someone cut the ball back to him, 8 yards out, he shot, and somebody threw their body on the line, got a deflection. We ended up losing 2-1, and he was like, oh my day, Thomas Souček, you are done, mate. You are done. I'm thinking, did you not see that somebody's put their body on the line and it's deflected out? So these people, every time you would see these or someone pop up from them, they're just bashing Thomas Souček, bash. What was your opinion of Souček in regards to you personally? He's standing at West Ham. Watching him last season, were you like, oh, we need to sell him? Or how did it change or waver from?
I was worried for him. There's no doubt there was a part of that season where he was out of form, big time.
Yeah.
And I think there was a lot to do with him and Rice, right? The role that Rice wanted to be in the box. He wanted to be the box-to-box midfielder, not Souček.
Yeah.
And really, Souček's game is being supporting the front.
Yeah.
And he's got, and you see it this season. He's scoring goals from it. He's making the keeper make saves. He's getting involved, and he's a better player for it.
Yeah.
Now, and plus, I do believe he was playing so much football. With Europa, he hardly missed a minute. Plus, playing for the Czechoslovakia, and there was a time there I think Moyes should have rested him.
Yeah.
Not dropped him, but rested him, given him a break, and he didn't. And when he was out of form, Moyes kept playing him. And, it just got worse for him because he just wasn't in the best of form. And I believe that half of that was because of the position he was playing. But, he deserved criticism for his performances because his passing just went to shit. He didn't seem to be able to pass the ball 3 yards without losing it. I just think his confidence was down, though. And I blame Moyes that for just keep throwing him out there. I think sometimes, he could just have done with a break, and he didn't. But since Rice has left, where he's playing in the position he should be playing in, and what he's good at, what he plays in for Czechoslovakia, he's a different player again. He's back to the Souček we had when he was Hammer of the Year. Hammer of the Year, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great to see him back, and that's why when Moyes all these donuts going, Kudos to start, Kudos to start. All right, but who do you drop if Kudos starts? And I want to see more of Kudos. I really do. He's exciting. Really looking forward to him. In the next year, see what he can do. But I don't want to drop Souček at this moment for him because he deserves his place.
Exactly.
He's doing nothing wrong. He's scoring goals for us. He's affecting the game. And who do you drop if you bring Kudos in? I just don't know how you work it. Because you've got Alvarez, you're not dropping him. You're not dropping Ward-Prowse. They've both been superb. Right? Paqueta's, he's never going to be good at this stage.
World's best player, you can't drop him.
just for entertainment, you can't drop him. Right? So Bowen's not getting dropped. My God, he just signed a 7-year contract going to cost us 45 million quid to have the boy there. So who do you drop? At this moment, the team picks itself.
Yeah.
Kudos just going to have to wait as much as I want to see more of him.
Yeah.
All I will say about that game, he should have come on at least 10 minutes, 15 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
That's all. But I think the team he picked for that game was the right team to pick for that game.
Yep.
Now, we've got plenty of Europe games. We've got plenty of Cup games. We'll see Kudos starting in some of them games. And you've got to give Moyes something. I mean, even last year, he wouldn't even take fucking Souček off.
Yeah,
He's actually taking him off now.
Yeah.
He's actually substituting him. So that's a start.
Tactical changes, yeah. Right, I've still got a few more things on West Ham. So, Thomas Souček, last 6 games, came on against TSC, 15 minutes, scored a goal. Played 73 minutes against Liverpool. Got the winner in the 1-0 victory away to Lincoln. He got the second goal that ultimately seals the game against Sheffield United when we won 2-0. He only played 20 minutes against Freiburg, and then he scored the first goal. So he scored 4 goals in his last 6 games, and a lot of those games, 2 of those games, he's played 15 minutes and 20 minutes, right? Now, I don't need to go back to West Ham's fixtures for the last 5, or results, sorry. Now, I can say this with confidence. And this is not a slur on Declan Rice. Declan Rice has never had that sort of goal-scoring run for West Ham, right? Never, right?
No.
And even trying to be that forward player and all of that, he still didn't get that. It's because this is a natural thing for Thomas Souček, and it was an unnatural thing. Yeah. So I think this just emphasizes the fact that Thomas Souček was playing a role that didn't suit him. And if we would have reversed those roles and kept it how it should have been, we wouldn't have seen such a substandard Thomas Souček, and I think this is evident of that.
And I remember saying this. I think it was on with young Jake once, and I said this: I want Declan Rice to be the best he can be at the position he's best at, and that's defensive midfielder. Yeah. That's his best position when he's doing really well. And believe you me, that run that Souček's had, Rice ain't going to do that for Arsenal either.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that now. He's not going to be the 15-plus goal a year midfielder. Never will be. He never will be. I never thought he had it in him. He's going to score a goal every now and again. He might get 5 in a season. That's it. He might get 6. I don't know. But he's not going to be a Lampard, a Gerrard, or even a Souček.
Yeah.
Souček in that position will score more goals than Rice. I can tell you that now. He's going to be the best he can be at the position he's best at, and that's defensive midfielder, and he's bloody good at it. And I think Arsenal are seeing that.
Yeah.
But if you're expecting him to score 15 goals for Arsenal this year, you ain't going to see it. You're not going to see it. If he gets 5, I'll be amazed.
Right. Just in regards to where does Kudos, or where could he fit in? Now, do you think, because he can play as a false 9, he's played there before. Do you think we would look more attractive if, let's say, for instance, Antonio's not in the best form at the minute. Let's say you put in there, knowing that you've got the likes of, because technically he's much better than Antonio, right? Much better. The fact that you could have Souček running off and Kudos just dinking him, you understand? Like, do you think that would you contemplate doing that as a starting team for a Premier League game?
I would, Titch. I would. I think that's the only spot that if you see, let's say, whether Antonio be injured or whatever, for whatever reason, I think. But what I'd like to see, what I'd love about that is Kudos and Bowen can switch.
Yeah.
You'd have a fluid two there,
Exactly.
you know, and then you'd have Paqueta sort of on the left out there somewhere, you know, with Emerson coming up. That excites me because they'll say you don't have to. With Antonio, you just say, look, you're up the front, that's it. You just move around the front as the ball comes out. But when you've got Bowen and Kudos, there's no reason why they can't switch.
Yeah, exactly.
They're both really good at that right side position, and they can always switch. You could, confuse defences and make them think, and that could be exciting to watch. I don't know if it'll work, but it might work because what I did notice, and I said to you, with that Kudos in that game, is it weren't just his goal. Is when he came on, the ball was getting banged into his feet. He was holding it well, shielding it well, using it well. Now that's what a good forward does, and Antonio does at times. Yeah. He holds the ball, shields him up, holds it well, turns and lays it off, and then goes on a run. Or he can do that, and I saw that in Kudos there in that 20 minutes. The boy's good on his feet. He's quite strong, and he can also turn and run at defenders as well and take them on.
Yeah.
I think that's the position. If you're gonna take anyone out of a team or a position that could fill, I think that could be it. It could be Antonio's more so than Souček's at this moment.
Yeah. And finally, Jarrod Bowen signed a 7-year contract. He's gone on record knowing that, I heard that Liverpool see him as the heir to Salah's throne. But I'm just saying, when Salah goes, they're saying, anyway. So the fact that he knows that, Newcastle's interested, Liverpool's interested, probably more money from both of them. The fact that he's actually come out and said, I want to spend the rest of my career at West Ham.
Yeah.
I'm happy here. I've been here and I'm not from London, 3+ years. I feel like, this is where I'm meant to be. His parents have said, we can see he's happy, and that makes us happy. So, we're glad. So I'm saying everything is. How pleased are you that somebody in this day and age has come out, not only signed that, but he's saying, I want to spend the rest of my career here, which is quite rare where people, I believe, unless they're a Mark Noble. Are you, is that pleasing to hear that he's that statement?
I was shocked at that. You know what I mean? Because, the reality is the potential could have been in January or the end of the season. Paquetá and Bowen could have been off.
Yeah.
2 major players for us at the moment. Major players for us. Both could have been, been sold.
Yeah.
Because of major interest from other clubs. Now we know for sure one of them ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
No, unless someone comes in with 100 million and he said, all right, then I won't stay, I'm off. But it's not his choice anymore. To me, when you listen to his rhetoric, he's saying, I want to stay. That's me done. I'm happy as, mate. I love it here. I'm happy. And he's settled. He's got his kids now. And I'm sure with Danny, he's probably out in Essex somewhere in some mansion.
Yeah.
And he's got the best schools lined up for the kids already. And he said, no, that's me. We're good. He doesn't need to go anywhere. He's probably on 150 grand a week, or I don't know what it is, but it'd be around that. 125 grand a week, whatever it may be. Yeah. So he's going to get 40 odd million quid guaranteed in the next 7 years, regardless of what he does.
Yeah.
And, when you look at it, I know it sounds obscene, that kind of money, and it is, but to replace him might cost more. Yeah. So you look at it, maybe that's the way to go. That's nail him down, because I'm all for having players for 3 or 4 years, selling them on and bringing in more, right, and getting a profit out of them. I'm happy with that. And we could see that with Paquetá. I don't believe we can hold on to Paquetá. I just think he's too gifted for us to keep him. But we've got an 85 million sell-on clause with him, so we'll make money. We'll stick 35 million pound in the bank. And that's what, this is the model we should be following. Yeah. But it's nice to see that one of them, rather than making 20 million out of Bowen, I'd rather keep him.
Yeah,
You know, I'd rather have him. And now everything he's saying is he don't want to go. He's happy there.
Yeah.
You know, now whether that changes in 3 years' time, you know, who knows? Who knows?
Exactly. Yeah.
But at the moment, he's happy. One would think by the time in 3 years' time, or if not next year, we'd have a new manager, and he has to, you know, see how he gets on with him for it all to work. So we'll see.
You know, his form's got him back into the England squad as well, which is
exactly.
Great recognition.
I did like his words like that. He appreciated the fact that West Ham took a chance on him when said really no one else did.
Exactly.
And from that, he got his England chance. He did get a call up before. He's got 4 England caps already. I hope he starts against Australia this weekend. I really do. I hope he gets a run out at Wembley and starts against Australia.
Right, so we have 2 games remaining, and the other kickoff on 2 o'clock, same time as West Ham, was Brighton 2, Liverpool 2, and that result means Liverpool are 3 points off the top with 17 points, and Brighton are 4 points off the top with 16 points. So solid seasons. 2-2. What do you think of the game? Salah gets another 2 goals.
Yeah, it was one game I was looking forward to.
Yeah.
There was a lot of fixtures there this week. I was looking at and going, I thought our game looked interesting. I thought the Brighton-Liverpool game looked interesting. Yeah. That's about the 2 games I was looking forward to. And I watched this game, and it was good. It was a good game. And both got suckered from playing out from the back from the keeper. They both made mistakes, and they both got punished, give goals away from it. But Brighton, and I said last week, you know, when you asked me about Brighton, you know, it's going to be bad. And I thought, no, I think they'll turn up next week and play well again. And they did. They did. They had a one bad day last week, conceding 6, and they weren't that team this week. And, it was a decent game, but I just thought, did I put a thing down it? No, that was it, really. It was a really good, hard-fought game. It could have gone either way. Liverpool, you know, they had more of the ball, more attacking. Salah was good. But, yeah, I think Brighton deserved a point out of it in the end.
Yeah.
Played well, mate. And Dunk, of all people, getting the equaliser.
Yeah, I see. I can't remember what it was for, but De Zerbi was not happy about something. I'm not sure. I don't know if he got booked. I'm going to check now. But I remember he was... Yeah, he weren't too happy about something. And I think Klopp likes him. So even when he was like, you know, whatever he's arguing would maybe affect Liverpool if it's a decision he wants. But Klopp was putting an arm around him as if to say, like, I think Klopp respects him. Yeah, I genuinely think that he looks at him like, So I can't remember, but he weren't happy about something. But...
I can't remember what he was upset about. I do remember him jumping up and down there once. But Klopp went over to him and calmed him down a bit.
Yeah, so we got booked on the 21st.
I can't remember what it was about.
No, I can't remember either. But yeah, Brighton, you know, and Ingra scored. I think Alisson probably should have done better with the shot. But yeah, you know, they've got good players, just constantly, good players, and then
boy, who's fuck? What is it with his Brighton?
Yeah, exactly.
A black boy, big black boy down the middle. What is he? Zambali or something? Geezer.
And Ingra, he's from Ivory Coast.
Is he? For fuck's sake, man! Yeah. I'm looking at him and going, he had a great game, and I'm going, well, who is he, man? Number 8, exactly. I think he was. He was fucking up and down. He could tell in the last 5 minutes he was cramping up like the boy. But my God, he had a good game.
He wears number 24. Yeah, number 24. But it's him. It's the guy that scored the goal for them.
Man, he impressed me. I was he's a teenager, as we said. Where did these boys come from? Where did they get them from, man?
Exactly.
And he was good. Had a good game.
You know, there was a player from last season. I'm thinking I ain't heard him but he's injured. Remember that Enciso as well? Like
Enciso, yeah.
Paraguay, yeah, he's only 19, but yeah, he's still injured. But I'm thinking, he was he looked like another gem. I was like, so.
No, this boy was good. He had a good game, really good game. He looked like sort of might be a box-to-box midfielder,
yeah.
but yeah, he was good, man. Oh God, man. They just keep turning them out, don't they? Right.
But yeah, we're gonna before we move on. Sorry, there's two players that I need to mention, right? Because I want to get your opinion on it. And you know, we've covered both those games already. But the first one is Forest have got that Brazilian Murillo centre back who displayed some outrageous pieces of skill. He looks like a tank. He's only 21. Did you get to see that guy, Murillo, the Brazilian? Yeah.
I did, and I did notice him, and I can't remember why I noticed him, but it was something he did in that game.
He went on a run. He picked up the ball. He rolled it past a defender. Then you think, all right, he's just gonna. He rolled it again, and he had to shoot on his weaker foot, I think, and it went sort of straight down. If he would have scored a centre back, stocky like like. Did you saw him? Obviously.
I did, yeah. I did notice his name. I went, who is that? I was going, who was that? Because they got, it's hard to remember any of the Forest players' names. There's so many different ones. But yeah, I did notice him.
Yeah. He's one that I'm looking at. Jesus, like I think they paid 13 mil for him this season, but he's fast as well, strong, fast, and clearly he's got good feet. So. Yeah, I'm gonna watch his career because if he plays like that week in week out, he won't be at Forest very long. Like no way.
Yeah.
And another question I was meant to ask you, and this is not based off of his performance against us. How highly do you rate Alexander Isak?
Yeah, he's dangerous, man. I think the two goals we gave him were fairly simple. I don't think he had to work too hard for them. No, but
yeah, I'm talking about he's dribbling ability.
No, he's good. He's quick. He's got great feet. He'll score goals. Right? He will score goals for him. Yeah, but he is a good player. Yeah, a really good player.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. This one was built up as the best game of the weekend. It was the final game of the weekend. Not everybody, majority of people's, one of these who's going to win the league. It didn't live up to its billing. It was Arsenal 1, Manchester City 0. Did it? Yeah,
no, it panned out exactly as I thought he fucking would do.
Yeah, this is the game.
I said it to Kieran before the game. I said, I'm telling you now, it'll be so much about tactics and nothing else. It's going to be, it promises to be everything and it will be nothing.
Yeah.
And I said, the only thing that'll win this game is a bit of brilliance or a bit of luck.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be the latter.
Yeah.
It was a shit game to watch. Absolute shit game to watch. It really was. It was this bullshit and all these tactics that these two Arteta and Guardiola bring in. And it's all about nullifying the other team for most. That's what was going on there. And you could tell like Haaland was non-existent because, and I keep saying it, you take De Bruyne out of the team and they lost Gundogan, they lost Mahrez, and Grealish weren't even playing. He was getting no service whatsoever, none. I don't remember him having a shot on goal or doing anything. He was getting no service. And one thing I did notice, he even dragged Bernardo Silva back as the defensive midfielder.
That's where he started, yeah. He started him in a deep line position.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, if you're Calvin Phillips now, you must think, well, look, mate, if he could have dragged Bernardo Silva back to be defensive midfielder in front of you, then you might as well give it up.
Exactly.
You might as well get out of there, boy, because you should have been playing that game. If you're any good, you should have been playing that game.
Yeah.
And Calvin Phillips weren't even picked. He'd rather use Bernardo Silva there than him. And then go, wow, that's a statement for him. I think he needs to think about himself and get gone because he's not going to get any game time.
I think to further emphasize the lack of faith in him. So I'm just checking his age. He played Rico Lewis as a more of an orthodox centre midfielder. Now, we've seen him operate more as a fullback, but apparently that is his position. He's a midfielder, right?
He looks like a midfielder, yeah.
But the fact that Bernardo Silva is playing in Calvin Phillips' so-called position. This boy comes in when you would have thought it would be Bernardo Silva in Rico Lewis's position and Calvin Phillips in there. Let me just check Rico Lewis's age. He's only 18 years old as well. So you'd think in a game of that magnitude, Calvin Phillips, England international, senior pro. Yeah, if he doesn't have any, and apparently Pep has said previously, I fouled Calvin Phillips, but people were saying basically what he's saying is I can't trust this boy, but he's trying to dress it up like I fouled him, but he was going to allow. Yeah, he's going to allow him to leave. He was going to allow him to leave, and Phillips said, "I want to stay and fight for my place." But the writing's on the wall, and you're not reading the signs. Is that he doesn't want you? You understand? He don't want you in this team.
No, I mean I think he brought Stones on really late to come in, and he was playing in the midfield,
coming back from injury. Yeah, but he's brought one. John Stones, who is obviously.
You know what I mean? There's no spot there for Phillips. You know what I mean? There's nothing. I know he's probably earning a massive amount of money and being part of a team that wins the Premier League on the treble, but he's not going to be playing. It's as simple as that. He needs to think about his career after this season, I think, or even in January, and try and get a move. But anyway, regardless of that, it should have been a 0-0. Yeah, it should have been a 0-0 game. That's all it deserved. And one shot, one big deflection off someone's head, and it goes in the goal. And they win it. And that's a big slice of luck. And Arsenal win it. And surprisingly, Man City have lost 2 games on the trot.
Yep, 2 on the trot.
First time in about 5 years.
Declan Rice cleared on off the line. He
done well.
Arsenal hadn't beaten Man City since 2015, I believe, when it was Wenger v Pellegrini, maybe. So it's a long time coming. I think it's good for the league. And do you think that, obviously, these are the type of games that why they brought in Declan Rice? And do you think that justified, if anybody doubted it, in this game, like his performance in that game, do you think it justified, why they was all in for Declan Rice?
Yeah, I think it is justified why they want him. But like I said, with Moyes, when he was pandering to Declan Rice to let him, launch forward when he wanted to, try to be this box-to-box midfielder. And I think that's what Rice wants to be. But he's not. He's not it. He's not that. I'm telling you now, he's not good enough. What he is good at is holding in front of that back four. And he's bloody good at it. And he's one of the best in the country at it. And when he plays that for Arsenal, he does that job.
Yeah.
Nothing to... the other thing with that, if you see highlight reels and that, you're not going to see much of Declan Rice. It's only when you watch the 90 minutes you see what he does for that team. And Arsenal fans are starting to appreciate what he does now.
Yeah.
That, he protects that back four. He stops things happening. He breaks up play. That's what he's really good at. And when he gets the ball, he uses it. He doesn't lose it very often. And I think he'll be a great signing for Arsenal. But he will not be this box-to-box midfielder. And I think Arteta sees that, and he'll tell him the role he wants him to play.
Yep.
And it will be that. And there he was, clearing that ball off the line. He anticipated it well and got behind the goalkeeper and got his head to it and got rid of it. That saved them the losing the game or drawing the game. That was the difference of 2 points. So, I think Arsenal fans will enjoy him. I think, Rice would love to be that Gerrard or Lampard, but he's never going to be, mate. He's never going to be it. Not for me.
Right. Final question, right? Oh, yeah, it is a question. So basically, you're a big fan of Haaland. So am I. I've been asked previously, if I had to pick between him and Mbappe. I said Mbappe because I feel Mbappe is more exciting. A lot of criticism is coming Haaland's way where people are saying, look, if you cut off his supply, he basically is not great. Do you agree with that? Now, obviously, I'm going to go back to my number one striker of all time. That is Ronaldo, R9. He could pick up the ball on a halfway line, spin a man, beat him with pace, do that. He's trademark step over. So he's exciting. Mbappe is very exciting.
Yeah.
Do you feel that Haaland is limited, and can
Absolutely.
you see him improving on that, or he is what he is? Yeah.
He is what he is. The different types of players, isn't there? Like Messi's more exciting.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it you call him a forward or a number 10. He scores goals, he steps over, he nutmegs people, he beats people. Everything about Messi is just quality. So, and Ronaldo too.
Yeah.
Haaland's not that. Oh, Mbappe's more exciting to watch. He really is.
Yeah.
Haaland needs service.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. He doesn't go and get and create what he needs to. These boys could. Mbappe can, Messi can, Ronaldo can create it for themselves if they want.
Yeah.
He's not that. He needs service. And I noticed last year, Man City were creating at least 4 chances a game for him.
Yeah.
At least. I was counting them when I was watching their games. How many chances that they, put a ball in De Bruyne. He had it from Grealish. He had it from Gundogan. He had it from Mahrez. He was getting balls coming. And you go, and out of them 4, he'd probably take 1 or 2. Hence his 36 goals in the season in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Or 50 all up, whatever he got in the end. But he got 36 goals, a Premier League record, because he was being provided with 4 goals a game. That game, I don't think he was provided with 1.
Mm-mm.
Now, you don't have Gundogan, you don't have Mahrez, and De Bruyne is injured, and Grealish is not on the pitch.
Yeah.
There was nothing being supplied to him. And once that happens with Haaland, he dries up. If he played in a team that couldn't service him the ball, you wouldn't notice him.
Yeah.
It'd just be a pain in the arse for the defenders, still be a handful.
Yeah.
But he needs service, mate. He needs service. And there you
go. Final question. If you had to pick today, who wins the Premier League this season? Not based off of the past, just from what you've seen. From what you've seen thus far, who would you say they're going to win the league?
It's hard now, but I still think Man City. I wouldn't write Man City off. Let's put it that way. And it'd be probably good for the league if it weren't them.
Yeah.
As we said before. Could Arsenal do it? Yeah. If Jesus comes to the party and starts banging in goals, I'm not sure Havertz was a good signing. He hasn't proved it yet. I think he's been awful, absolutely awful.
Yeah.
I think they could have bought better than Havertz. I think it was a bit of a punt that it might come good at Arsenal. It's not. Don't look like it's working out that signing. But Jesus, stage fit, could be the difference. And City need to get players back. They need De Bruyne back in the team. They need Rodri back in the team, and start firing again. But it's tough at the moment. As an all-round team, I think Arsenal have been better than City. City, I say, haven't been that great, but they won every game up until this one.
Yeah.
So it just shows you when they're not on it, they still, win games. So that tells me they're going to be there at the death. Whether they win it or not, they're going to be there.
Well, that wraps up this edition. Appreciate everybody that would view this. Appreciate Giza's contribution as always. Yeah,
you can watch all the international bullshit this weekend.
I won't
watch shit.
None of it. But yeah, we will see you lot again. If I do try and get a live in, whatever. If not, we'll see you once the real football gets back underway, which is obviously the Premier League. But yeah, ciao.
See you later.